In this video, we will be discussing a new way to update old versions of Windows, using Windows Server Update Services. As you may know, the Windows or Microsoft Update official website is dead, and it also does not work in Vista anymore, so that rules out conventional methods of updating XP in 2000 and Vista. First, we'll start off by looking at 2000. The process is fairly straightforward. There are a few prerequisite updates you need to install though, and save yourself the hassle and just get Service Pack 4 if you don't have it already. And then the next thing you want to get is Internet Explorer 6, and I will provide a link to anything you might need in the video description. And just go ahead and save the file. It is a .zip, so you need something like 7-zip to extract it. The latest version of 7-zip still works just fine. And then you can go into its folder and start the installer, and it is pretty straightforward. Once that installs, the next thing that you'll be installing is the Windows Update Agent, shown here. It contains core files that it updates that allows Windows to talk to update servers. The next thing you want to install is the root certificates updater. What this does is it updates security certificates on the computer so it can talk to modern servers securely. And then finally, you finish it off with the Windows Server Update Services settings registry file. Make sure to right click and click Save Target As, and you might need to click the all files and then type the extension manually. That is probably a configuration issue with my server. I will look into fixing that. But then you can just open it or right click it and merge it, and then click OK, and then you will restart the computer. And the final bit of configuration you need to do is set some sort of updating mode. It may not be required, but I would highly recommend it. I generally like choosing the check updates and let me choose option. And if you do want to hurry things along, you can type WUAUCOT/detect now, and that will manually invoke a detection of updates. That is optional. Windows will do it eventually. You won't see much, but after a while, you will eventually see something telling you that updates are ready to install, or ready for download. And then after you select those updates, you will get more updates to install, and this will go through several times until you've gotten all of them. The first couple batches of updates are generally prerequisites, and then you will get the mother load of updates, which is almost all of them that you need for a fully updated Windows 2000 system. And you will have a few stragglers after that. But anyway, that is pretty much it for Windows 2000. It doesn't take too much to get this one going. We next move on to Windows XP and Server 2003. I am using POS Ready 2009 for this example. This is by far the easiest to update out of all of the old Windows operating systems. All you need to do is merge the registry file. However, if you're on standard Windows XP or Server 2003, you must first install the Update Agent 3.0. Simply select the one that matches your architecture. But once you do that, you should be good to go, unless you're... The only thing is that if you're on XP RTM, you might need to update the root certificates. But anyway, once you've installed the agent, go ahead and right-click and save target as the registry file, and then merge it, as you see there. And then restart the computer, and it should be on its way to detecting updates. But do make sure to set the update mode, so that way you'll actually be getting updates. And you don't have to do it manually all the time. However, of course, you can do it manually, as I did show before and I'm showing now. In any case, after some time, updates should appear via the yellow shield in your system tray. You can select any updates that you want to install and deselect any that you do not. I did actually intend to show a bit more of updating POS Ready 2009, but the virtual machine actually kind of blew up. Thankfully, there was not too much more to actually show you, and not anything important. You can actually use the POS Ready trick, as it was known, to update standard Windows XP 32-bit edition with the POS Ready updates. Simply use the POS Ready updates registry file as linked in the description. Make sure to right-click and save target as if you're getting it directly from my site. Of course, you might need to change the extension until I figure that issue out. And then, once it is downloaded, simply merge it and then restart the computer, much similar to merging the WSUS registry file. And once the computer is in fact restarted, there's nothing more you need to do other than let Windows Update do its thing, as it did for the standard Windows updates. Please make sure that your system is fully updated, and especially that you have Service Pack 3 before doing this, and do not attempt this on a 64-bit system, or Windows Vista, or Windows 2000. And finally, we move on to Windows Vista. For once, if you have Windows Vista RTM, as this particular VM does, your life is actually easier. Windows Vista RTM is known for being bad, however, it is better than SP2 in this one instance. So, you can start out by just merging the registry file, and that should be all that you need to do. I will explain a bit later how you do it on Service Pack 2, and this right here would also apply for Service Pack 1. All you need to do is download the WSUS.reg and merge it, and restart the computer, of course. Inside these folders here that I currently have the mouse over, that is updates that you will need for Vista Service Pack 2. More on that later. But anyway, save the registry file once again, and go ahead and merge it. And Windows Vista will ask you 1,000 times if you're really sure you want to do it, and then restart the computer. And here's the fun part. In Windows Vista, you can use the way that you normally used to update it back in the day, unlike XP. Well, some people probably used automatic updates in XP, but it was certainly fun to visit the website. The fun way to do it in Vista, and really the only way, is through the control panel. And that works just perfectly fine with the WSUS server. So you can get to it through the system tray on Vista, or you can get through it from the control panel. And then you can just set an option if you please, but since the Vista has the button to just manually check for updates, it's not a big deal. But anyway, it will check for updates, and then there will be a couple of prerequisites that it needs to install, most likely. And then there will be a few updates that it wants to install that I'm not particularly sure why, because they're not really a prerequisite to Service Pack 1. But then you will finally get the Service Pack 1. And it is a very large update. And you will be able to update to Service Pack 2 after you install Service Pack 1. In exactly the same way through Windows Update here. Now, we will be moving on to Service Pack 2. If you are starting with Service Pack 2, this part of the video is for you. Now, like I said, there is a bit more to do here, because for whatever reason, Vista is bugged with the modern implementation of the update servers to need a bunch of prerequisites. There are 4 updates you need to download, and they will be linked. And if you have Internet Explorer 9 installed already, there is a 5th one that is in the folder. So go ahead and save all 4 of those updates. Make sure you're getting the right ones for your system. If they say this update is not applicable to your system, you probably have ones for the wrong CPU architecture. And I would just go ahead and install all 4 at once, and then restart, rather than restarting for every single one. However, you can certainly do that. That would be the safest way, but also the slowest. So once you have those 4 installed, and if you have IE9 installed, you do need the 5th update that was mentioned previously. But anyway, after you do that, then you just merge the registry file as we always do here. Once again, making sure you're saving it correctly. And then just get through the Vista security prompts, and you will go ahead and restart as we have before, as registry changes almost always require a restart to do any good. And then you can go ahead and check for updates, much in the way that we did previous in the video for RTM. In fact, exactly the same way, just with some prerequisites. And speaking of prerequisites, there's some. Go ahead and update the Windows Update software and anything else you need to install. And then eventually you're going to get something in the neighborhood of about 200 updates if you're starting with just a blank Service Pack 2 system. And of course, yeah, that's going to take a very long while to install, so make sure that you have time set up to do this. And also, due to a bug in the Windows Update mechanism in Vista, it may be good to just do updates in blocks of 80, as it can be known to freeze with higher amounts. It is somewhat rare, but it happens and it can destroy the installation, so be careful. And for some final considerations, one thing you might want to know is that if you get an error, like the one that I've pictured here, simply try again, and if it still doesn't work, go back and make sure you've done all the steps correctly. If you're still having an error, you can use Windows Update MiniTool, which you might want to use anyway, as it's a different tool for updating, and it does make things a lot more straightforward, and it displays a console at the bottom, and it has the updates that are shown in the main window. On Windows 2000, it does have a bug where the boxes do not display anything and they're just black. However, you can use the tooltips to feel out what you're doing. Another thing you should know about is that sometimes YouTube likes to think that links to my site contain harmful information or content. There is no viruses or anything like that on my site. I should know because I run it, and so please do disregard the warnings. I'm trying to work out why they are happening. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and if you have a comment, please feel free to leave one. Have a good day, or night, or whatever.